I'm going to start with SBCU, so Specialised University, which is led by one of my team, Ugo, and that's our learning management platform. So that is how we educate and train our business, so our colleagues, but also our retail network and our riders on the products that we take out into the market. And then knowledge management picks up after that. Once you've learned it, sometimes you need a reminder, right? You can't hold everything in your head and still be really effective at what you do. This is at the heart of Specialised journey. We have a plan that takes us from 2025 to 2030. One of the key elements of that is to build on our premium position. We believe we bring premium products to the market that are truly differentiated. Because to be truly premium, you have to be premium at every touch point, every time you do it. So there's a real focus on doing that. And knowledge management is a key enabler there because that means that we are consistent with the information that we share with riders, retailers, and colleagues. So using eGain to manage access to the various levels of content has been really important as part of our knowledge management strategy and journey. So the whole principle is the content that you need should be where you are in the moment that you're there. So an example is when we embedded eGain into Salesforce for our frontline teams. So it's there for you. It helps you to answer the question that you've got in the moment that you've got the question, and it's so important. What's also really important is that we localize it. So we translate it to the language that the rider care agent, the retailer, and the rider needs it to be in. So it's not going out just in English. So in 2023, from a knowledge management perspective, 11 tools, 13 locations, and 15 teams playing in that space. And then the tool went out of support, and it was going to be a nightmare. So we took all of our content, we verified that it was correct, and then we imported it into eGain. So we had one single source of truth. So we did a 3-year plan for global rider care. Ties into the wider plan for the business. So we know we're aligned, and off we go. And that has knowledge management, as I said, at the beating heart. Search engine optimization was a big deal for us, and we used eGain and their AI to help us to do that. And if we fast forward 1 year later, the traffic lifted by 100% year over year. And yesterday, we launched our next 5 markets, and then in September, another 13 go. And that's underpinned by eGain because the markets have slightly different working practices and we need to support them in the moment of the transaction so they know how to process it if there is an Australian rider versus a French rider, for example. So we went out and we found a best practice, and this is the consistent thing that we will use over time. And then when you combine this with the features and capability of the eGain platform, you get your roadmap. So this is our roadmap. So knowledge management at the heart of the strategy, it's a critical enabler for this strategy. We've spoken about how knowledge management has this really big part to play for retailers and support journeys. Knowledge management means you don't have to access your brain and the cloud and have that pause. You can be supported through that journey. You can just lean into having a conversation, and that's where really deep connections between us and our riders and retailers happen. That's why we're so passionate about it. So what's changed since this time last year? So we tore up the old operating model. Everybody was working on their own. Nobody was resourced properly. Queues were bad. Now they work together. Queues are much better. The experience has really lifted. We've driven much more automation. We keep human in the loop. That's what I mean by HITL. So I want to safeguard the AI that we've got in place. And eGain has really taken flight as we've gone across this year. So that 100% uplift in traffic after SEO has been really good for us. And we've organized our processes better to enable eGain to be great. Right, our abandonment rate reduced by 47% year over year. That's massive. Our resolution rate improved by 4%. eGain inside Salesforce, helping you when you need it with accurate, always on, in your language information that's reading the search terms that you're putting in and the case terms and then presenting you with the content that you need. Customer satisfaction, so how well did the agent do in the rider or retailer's mind, lifted by 5%, and that score was pretty high already, so that takes us to just under 90. NPS lifted by a massive 19% year over year. I've been doing this for a minute, and I've never seen a lift like that before. It was genuinely, that was the thing that we got super excited about.